For this video, we will be discussing synthetic multiplication. So in this lesson, you will learn how to perform multiplication of polynomials using synthetic multiplication. Before we proceed, let's first have a quick review. So find the product of the following. You may use either distributive property or the detached coefficient method. Number 1. The quantity x minus 5 times the quantity 2x plus 7. Now, using the detached coefficient method, the first thing that we do is to get the coefficients of the first factor x minus 5. The coefficient of x here is 1, and then we have the constant term negative 5. So therefore, the coefficients here are 1 and negative 5. Next, get the coefficients of the other factor, 2x plus 7. So the coefficient of x here is 2, and then 7 is the constant term. So we will have 2 and 7. Then we can now proceed with multiplication. So first, get this 2 and multiply this with 1 and negative 5. So 2 times 1 and 2 times negative 5. Now 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So write it below 2, align it with 2. 2 times negative 5, that is negative 10. Next, multiply 7 here with 1 and negative 5. So 7 times 1, that will be 7. So write it down here below 7. 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. And then we add. So just bring down 2. Negative 10 plus 7 is negative 3. And then bring down negative 35. So negative 35 here is our constant term. Negative 3 here is our x term. So we can now write x there. And 2 here is our x squared term, the coefficient of the x squared term. Negative 35 here is our constant term. Negative 35 here is our constant term. Therefore, negative 3 will be the coefficient of our x term, and 2 is the numerical coefficient of our x squared term. So therefore, the product using the detached coefficient method is 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. Now it's your turn. Try the following. The quantity 3x minus 1 times the quantity 2x minus 3. Another, the quantity 5x plus 7 times the quantity x minus 1. And find the product of the quantity 4x plus 3 times the quantity 5x plus 2. The detached coefficient method is actually synthetic multiplication. Synthetic multiplication is another way of performing multiplication of polynomials using only the numerical coefficients of the terms. Now, take note of this. These are important. The powers of the terms of the polynomial must be arranged in descending order. And 0 is written for a missing term of the polynomial. Now let's try this example. Multiply 2x squared minus 3x minus 8 by 6x minus 5 using synthetic multiplication. So for the solution, first, you have to check if your polynomial is in standard form or if the powers of the variable is arranged in descending order. In this case, 2x squared minus 3x minus 8 is in standard form. 6x minus 5 is also in standard form as well. So here, in the first factor, there's no missing term as well as in the other factor. So first step that we do is we get the coefficients of this first factor. So the coefficients of 2x squared minus 3x minus 8 are, so 2, negative 3, and the constant term which is negative 8. Next, get the coefficients of 6x minus 5. So that will be 6 and negative 5. So align the coefficients starting from the right. So we go from right to left. And then we can now proceed with multiplication. So first, we multiply this 6 to all the coefficients of the first factor. So 6 times 2, that will be equal to 12. And then 6 times negative 3, that will be negative 18. And 6 times negative 8, that will be negative 48. Next, we multiply this negative 5 to the coefficients of 2x squared minus 3x minus 8 as well. So 5 times negative 2, that will be negative 10. So align negative 10 with negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 3, that is positive 15. And negative 5 times negative 8, that is 40. And then we add the values. So just bring down 12. Negative 18 plus negative 10, that's negative 28. Negative 48 plus 15 is negative 33. And then bring down 40. So from the right, 40 is our constant term. So we can write plus 40 here. Negative 33 is the coefficient now of the x term. So we can now write x there. And negative 28 is the coefficient of the x squared term. Therefore, 12 here is the coefficient of the x cubed term. So, constant is 40. Then you have the x term, the x squared term, and the x cubed term. Therefore, the product is 12x cubed minus 28x squared minus 33x plus 40. Now, let's have another example. Multiply x squared plus 4x plus 1 by x squared minus 3 using, again, synthetic multiplication. So let's have the solution to this. So get the first factor, x squared plus 4x plus 1. Get its coefficients. So we have 1, 4, 1. Next, get the coefficients of the other factor, which is x squared minus 3. Here we will have 1, 0, and negative 3. Notice that here in this factor, there's a missing term. There is no x term here because you have the x squared term, then immediately it's followed by the constant term. So there is no x term. So we will have to add 0 to fill up that missing term. That's why you have this 0 here. So we can now proceed with multiplication. Again, do not forget the proper alignment of the products. So we start with 1. Multiply 1 with the coefficients 1, 4, and 1. So 1 times 1, that is 1. 1 times 4, that's 4. And 1 times negative 1, that's 1. So take note of the alignment of the products. So 1 times 1 is 1. Write 1 below 1 here. Next, multiply 0 to the coefficients 1, 4, and 1. So 0 times 1, that is just 0. So write the product 0, align it with 0 here. Then 0 times 4, that's still 0. 0 times negative 1 is 0. Next, multiply negative 3 this time to the coefficients 1, 4, and 1. So negative 3 times 1, that's negative 3. Write it, align it with negative 3 here. Negative 3 times 4, that will be negative 12. And negative 3 times 1, that is negative 3. And then again, we add the values. So bring down 1. 4 plus 0 is just 4. 1 plus negative 3, that is negative 2. 0 plus negative 12 is negative 12. And then bring down negative 3. So let's now write the complete terms of the product. So negative 3 here is the constant term. Therefore, negative 12 is the coefficient of the x term. So we can now write x here. Negative 2 is the coefficient of the x squared term. So we write x squared here. 4 is the coefficient of the x cubed term. And 1 is the coefficient of the x to the fourth term. This term for x cubed is positive, so we can add the plus sign here. And 1 is the coefficient of the x to the fourth term. And so therefore, the product is x to the fourth plus 4x cubed minus 2x squared minus 12x minus 3. This concludes our discussion on synthetic multiplication. Let's have a break as you answer the practice exercises set out for you in the topic. Next up is synthetic division.